everyone. So whilst we are at the back end of the WEC 2023 season, it only feels right that we start looking ahead to 2024. Because whilst we have a plethora of incredible hypercars on the grid right now, we've got even more joining us next year. And I'm joined by WEC expert Sam Smith to tell us a little bit more about who we can expect to see on the grid next season.
It's going to be like the first day at a new school. The new kids are going to come in. There's going to be naughty kids, there's going to be studious kids. We've got BMW, we've got Lamborghini, and we've got Alpine coming into the hypercar class. So it's a guaranteed 5 new cars next season. There's probably going to be more, but they're what you call the big 3 manufacturers now, who are going to join the manufacturer party in the WEC in 2024.
Well, all of them have a pretty long history in sports car racing, but how about we start off with BMW? They'll be fairly familiar with this kind of racing, won't they be, Sam?
Absolutely. I mean, a rich heritage of racing throughout all kinds of disciplines, but specifically in endurance. You know, you talk about some of the great customer teams they've had, like Bugatti and Schnitzer. They won Le Mans in 1999, famously in a year that arguably had the strongest grid ever, perhaps until this year when it was super strong as well. So yeah, BMW are pure racers. You know, they know how to engineer great sports cars, they know how to operationally run teams. I'm expecting great things with them, especially as they're in partnership with WRT, of course, who they've achieved pretty much everything. They've won the WEC title and they've won the Le Mans 24 Hours in LMP2, so expecting great things from that partnership.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the car that they will be racing with next year then? What have they got? It's
very spectacular, it's very distinctive. It's taking the Dallara chassis, so they're working in technical collaboration with Dallara. It's called the M V8, so the BMW M Hybrid V8. So it's got a V8 engine, of course, which is keeping in a lot of the sort of tradition of BMW. I mean, the very industry that comes to the BMW designs over the years has got a sort of lineage that goes right back to some of the great saloon car designs that they had in the 70s and even before that. So building on that kind of heritage and history, I think we're going to see a super interestingly engineered car. And of course, with the extra expertise of WRT, I expect it to be super strong. It looks aggressive. It's got, you know instantly that it's a BMW because of the styling at the front.
It's incredible, isn't it? I was actually at the test day in Spa probably a couple of weeks ago now, and the thing that really struck me was it was in an all carbon livery, nothing special on it, but you still knew it was BMW. It's so distinctive, so iconic. And the other thing I loved was Robin Frijns was in the car in the afternoon, and when he got out, there was a real grin on his face. You could tell he loves driving that thing, and I think I'm excited to see what the team can do next year.
Well, that tells us that this car suits aggressive drivers, because Robin Frijns, you know, I often describe him as having paranormal reflexes. This is a guy who absolutely thrashes a car and gets incredible pace out of it. Likewise, René Rast, a name that we know well from recent seasons in the WEC, in LMP2 in particular. And then we've got guys with mega experience like Gustav Farfus, and we've got new guys as well like Nick Yellerly. Potentially, they haven't announced the drivers yet. They're all in this big pool of talent that WRT and BMW will call upon for next season. So lots to look forward to in terms of what you call the talent in that team.
Well, shall we move on to Lamborghini?
Yeah.
What's their history? Are they coming into the WEC with endurance knowledge?
Well, they are. They've got knowledge in specifically one-make racing, models like the Gallardo and the Huracan, of course, but they've also been at Le Mans over the years.
Okay.
The Japanese Lamborghini Owners Club entered Lamborghinis about 10-15 years ago. But in terms of Le Mans history, they don't have as much as BMW or some of the other manufacturers, but we're going to have a raging bull in the paddock next year.
Ooh,
the famous bull moniker is going to be here, going up against the prancing horse and all the other sort of wild animals in this paddock. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Lamborghini, because the name of Lamborghini is just synonymous with really elegant and fast cars. And where better than the WEC to evidence what they want to do from an engineering and a marketing perspective. And
can you tell me a little bit about the car that they're going to be entering the WEC with?
Yeah, it's called the SC63. They're going to partner up with Ligier, another name that people will know from racing, not only in endurance but in Formula One. Got a rich heritage, have been successful in both of those disciplines. So yeah, Lamborghini bringing another Italian flavour into the championship. The car itself is a 3.8 litre twin turbo, so it's going to be pretty grunty. They've only started testing recently in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks, so too early to tell where they are. They've got a lot of work to do in the coming weeks and months. So yeah, looking forward to see how progress goes there.
Well, we were speaking about the BMW driver pool. What's Lamborghini got to offer?
Quite a lot at the moment. Yeah, some familiar faces there too. Daniel Kvyat has been signed up to be part of that team. Andrea Caldarelli could be part of it. It's not been defined yet how the structure of this one car team will be for 24. And then of course, I suppose you'd call, the blockbuster name is Romain Grosjean. Now,
exciting!
We don't quite know yet exactly his program, but that's obviously a massive name in terms of bringing another addition to these great stellar names in WEC for next year. So looking forward to seeing Grosjean. He's got a bit of experience at Le Mans. He actually competed in the 2010 Le Mans 24 Hours with Ford, so it's not completely unknown to Romain. So really looking forward to seeing how he gets along. And yeah, I think there's going to be a great deal of interest in that whole pool of driver talent.
And last but by no means least, let's talk Alpine, because I was there at Le Mans this year when they unveiled that beautiful hypercar they've got. I'm loving the details on it, really cool lights. Can you tell me a little bit about the technical specifications of this car?
I can, Alexa. It's called the Alpine A424. It's going to be a single turbo, 3.4 litre engine, and it's going to be sweet because these guys know exactly what they're doing. They're partnering essentially with Orica, which of course are identified as a really successful French, the sort of staple of some of the chassis that we've seen, main chassis we've seen in LMP2 over the years. Of course, yeah. So there's a great deal that they've got in this sort of French soup of technical excellence, which I think is really going to, I'm not saying surprise people, because like I said, they've evidenced that they're a really top line outfit, but I think they're going to hit the ground running next year. And
any drivers that we know about yet?
Not officially. Nicolas Lapierre shook the car down at Paul Ricard. Multiple champion, LMP2 champion, former Toyota driver. So, they've got the right guy there. The anticipation is that Charles Milesi, who has also tested the car, and Mathieu Vaxivière at least will be in there. And there's no reason to suggest that the other guys in that LMP2 car we're seeing this year won't get promoted into some of those seats too. So, yeah, they've got an all-round real strong package.
Thank you so much, Sam, and thank you so much for watching. The anticipation is building for 2024, so make sure you're following along with all of the WEC socials as we bring you up all of the updates that you need to know before next year. We'll see you then.